So, as I promised this past week, I did want to make at least one more video for you guys discussing what I consider to be the most important gaming story on the planet, which is Metroid Prime 4, and how I think information around that game might be related to Nintendo's recent tweet and confirmation around the next-gen Nintendo Switch successor. So naturally, we were all very excited in response to Furukawa's tweet from Nintendo's Japanese Twitter account in relation to their recent investors briefing, where they told us that they are planning to reveal to the world the successor to the Switch, which is all they're calling it right now. There's no code names or anything associated with it, right? It's just a Nintendo Switch successor. We're going to be getting it before the end of this fiscal year, which ends in March of 2025. We know about the Nintendo Direct next month in June. They told us not to expect Switch 2 information in that Direct. It's going to focus on Nintendo Switch titles, the current Switch, for the back half of 2024. And in response to that, like I said, we all got excited. I even came back to YouTube to make a video and break it down for you guys. But on top of all of that fun information, you know me, and the number one thing my sites were laser focused on is how does this help Metroid Prime 4? What does this tell us? What does this tell me about that game? The most important gaming product and gaming news story I could possibly imagine. Because for those of you who know me, the original Metroid Prime 2002 on the Nintendo GameCube is my number one favorite game of all time. Metroid's my favorite franchise. Metroid Prime 4 is the sequel that we never thought could be possible. And many years ago, in 2017, that game was announced and we've seen nothing of it. And the reboot in 2019, and all of the stuff and the turmoil that we know surrounding that game. And so, let's get down to brass tacks. As the world's self-proclaimed biggest Metroid fan, what do I think Nintendo's tweet and confirmation about the reveal of the Nintendo Switch successor means for Metroid Prime 4? Personally, I think it means quite a bit, and I think that we are starting to see a potential future reveal and release for Metroid Prime 4 come into focus based solely on this confirmation from Nintendo. Of course, the main questions we have surrounding Metroid Prime 4 they're a fewfold. One is, when are we going to see the game? Another is, when are we going to play the game? And the last is, what platform or platforms will we be able to play the game on? So, of course, the most immediate question of those I think we have to address is, when are we going to see the game? And I absolutely believe we're going to see the game before the end of 2024. I felt that coming into this year, even before this tweet and this discussion about the Nintendo Direct and the Switch successor. 2024 felt like it's finally time for Nintendo to lift the veil off of Metroid Prime 4. Now, with this confirmation about the Direct and the Switch successor and all of that in relation to this tweet, I feel even more confident saying that. But when will we see it? Will it show up in this next Nintendo Direct next month in June, or will it show up later? Well, I think it's important to consider both options, right? If it's even going to be revealed in 2024 at all. So mathematically, it's possible it won't show up this year and it's going to be next year. But in no way do I believe that. It's coming this year, man. 2024, they're going to show us this game and give us some sort of concrete information. And so let's visit both possibilities. Will it show up in this Nintendo Direct in June? Personally, right now, it's only been a few days since that tweet, and I'm just going off of my knee-jerk reactions and my gut feelings. Slightly biased because I'm a Metroid fanboy, but my gut feeling tells me, yeah, I think there's more than a 50% chance we're going to see Metroid Prime 4 re-revealed, I should say, in this Nintendo Direct in June. Of course, most importantly, for it to even have a possibility of showing up in June, that means the game has to be planned for the current Nintendo Switch. Whether it's Nintendo Switch only, or if it's going to be cross-gen with the Switch and Switch 2 like I personally predict, there has to at least be one plan for that game to come out on the Switch. And since I do believe it will be releasing on the Switch because the Metroid franchise can really use the 141 million install base of the Nintendo Switch, I think it's coming to the Switch, so yes, I think there's more than a 50% chance the game will show up at this Nintendo Direct. And we know that software is slowing down for the Nintendo Switch, and if they're going to reveal anything huge for the back half of this year, I think that one of the only possible options for a one last thing huge reveal at the end of this Nintendo Direct in June has to be Metroid Prime 4. Now, does that come in conjunction with a Metroid Prime's 2 and 3 port as well, where maybe they pull a Bayonetta situation and first they say, here's our last announcement for today's Nintendo Direct. We start with reveals of Metroid Primes 2 and 3 getting HD ports, and then beyond that, they finish their big final moment with an actual trailer and some details and re-reveal of Metroid Prime 4. I think, yes, it could come with Metroid Primes 2 and 3 as a part of that overall presentation. But if the game is planned for the Nintendo Switch, and if it's going to be maybe their one huge tentpole title for the current Switch in 2024 over the holiday, that's why I think there is a great chance it could actually be their one big thing for this Direct. Now, let's say it doesn't show up in this Nintendo Direct. We're all going to go into the Direct hoping to see Metroid Prime 4 because they already told us we're not going to be seeing the Switch 2 in this Direct, which was a smart thing to tell the world, so no one gets their expectations too out of whack for this show. So instead, I think most of us are going to be going into the show expecting Metroid Prime 4. Now, if it's not there, and I do think there is a great chance it won't be there, like I said, I actually think that's going to be okay. And I'm not going to lie, you guys, I want to see it in this Direct, but I think it might actually be good news in a way if it's not in this Direct, because if it's not in next month's show, I think that means that they are saving it to reveal it alongside the Nintendo Switch 2. Now look guys, I know that there are a lot of wild, very strong, passionate opinions on both sides of this conversation. Should Metroid Prime 4 come to the Switch 2? Should it come to the Switch only? Should it be cross-gen? Should it be not cross-gen and only stick to the Switch? Do they reveal it and release it on the Switch first and then the Switch 2 later? Do they just release a patch for the Switch 2 version because it's backwards compatible? All of these things, there are a lot of unknowns that are feeding everyone's opinions about this, but I do know when it comes to how and when Nintendo reveals Metroid Prime 4 and which platforms it releases on, day and date and all that stuff, very strong opinions on both sides of the fence, okay? So, I am just going to tell you, there is no wrong way to do it. I don't care when I see this game. I don't care which platform I play it on first. I mean, I have a preference, don't get me wrong, but do I really care? No. I think the game is going to be amazing and shine even if it's on the very outdated Switch hardware. If it comes out on the Switch before it comes out on the Switch 2, I'm going to buy it and play it on the Switch right away, and I'm going to be blown away, and I know this game will deliver no matter what platform I first play it on. However, if I were to choose the ideal scenario for me, now that we've waited this long, the Nintendo Switch's life has already come and effectively gone, now that we're coming into mid-2024, I am totally fine waiting an extra couple of months or even an extra year for the better next-gen Switch 2 version of Metroid Prime 4, if that's something that Nintendo is considering. And so because of that, if we don't see Metroid Prime 4 in this Direct, like I said, that will tell me they don't want to show this game for the current Switch. They want this to be part of the reveal of the Switch 2, their next generation console. They want it to be the graphical showcase for what the Switch 2 can do, and to tell us that the day the Switch 2 is on store shelves, you can also buy and play a next generation Metroid Prime 4. To me, that gives me goosebumps, and it is absolutely my preferred reveal and play style for Metroid Prime 4. Again, I'm only one guy, I'm only one man, I'm only one fan, I'm only one Metroid fan. I'm just one person, and for myself as a huge Metroid fan, this is just my opinion and my preference. I'm not here to tell you that you have to agree with me. I have a couple of friends who feel very differently than me when it comes to how they release Metroid Prime 4. And again, I understand it, and I'll even remind you, like I said a few minutes ago, I don't even really care at the end of the day. I mean, just show me the game, just release the game. Like I said, even if it releases on the current outdated Switch, I still know it's going to blow me away. So there's no wrong way to do it for me, but there is a preferred way. And like I said, to me, the preferred way is reveal it for the Switch 2, make sure the Switch 2 version is taking full advantage of the power that the Switch 2 affords it, and in a perfect world, I can buy it as a launch day title for my Nintendo Switch 2. That's what I'm preferring. So then we come into, if it doesn't show up at the Nintendo Direct, and we then think it's going to be part of the Switch 2 reveal, Does that mean the Switch 2 itself will get revealed in 2024? And, you know, if you watched my last video, you know how I feel. I think that there is more than a 50% chance the Switch 2 will be revealed in 2024 as well. So, you know, I'm getting into all these percentages. More than 50% this, less than 50% this. Ultimately, you can probably, you know, understand my takeaways and my predictions here. More than likely, Prime 4 will show up in next month's Direct. More than likely, the Switch 2 will still be revealed in 2024. And I am hoping that Metroid Prime 4 comes to the Switch 2 and is a launch day title for that platform. Even if it's cross-gen, I would like it to be cross-gen and launch day with the Nintendo Switch 2. So it's tough to say for sure what's going to happen, but man, it is exciting. It's so exciting that it got me pumped to get back on camera and make a couple of videos for you guys breaking this stuff down. Because this is the stuff we've been waiting for. And the future of Nintendo is very exciting. I think it looks very bright. I really want to believe they're carrying strong momentum of the Switch, even with the declining sales and overall interest in the platform and the slower release slate of brand new games for the Switch this year. I think they have a chance to, like I said, carry that momentum from the Switch into the Switch 2. And I absolutely think that we are on the precipice of Metroid Prime 4's re-reveal. And it is the thing that keeps me going. I've said it in videos past. Every morning I wake up on this earth, the number one thought in my head in the world of gaming, in the hobby of playing video games, is Metroid Prime 4. It's Metroid, it's Samus. When will I see this game? When will I see more Samus? And I think that we are about to get a full blowout of this game.